And welcome to Rob Schmitt Tonight. If you've been following the news lately, you've probably noticed a huge spike in stories about con artists who stole loads of money from the federal government during COVID. Your money, the same government that wants you to pay your fair share, the same government that's $30 trillion in debt and always seems to need more money, has absolutely no idea how to manage the money that we give them. It is a problem that should enrage taxpayers because of the sheer scale. As Democrats and the hyper-politicized CDC and NIH were forcing Americans to not work for months, destroying businesses, destroying your kids' education, COVID became an all-star moment for the purveyors of liberal big government, an opportunity they hadn't seen in years. Let's get everybody on the dole, make everyone reliant on government. Just like feeding a stray dog, one bite of free steak and they keep coming back. It's classic bribery. It's a fundamental part of today's Democrat Party. And of course, because it's not their money, it's your money, nobody really cared how much of it was wasted or stolen. Just today, a federal watchdog announced nearly $46 billion with a B dollars stolen from unemployment insurance during COVID-19. That's just today's story. That's in addition to earlier this year, when many outlets, including NBC News, reported that experts estimated as much as $400 billion of the $900 billion COVID unemployment relief program had been taken by international fraudsters. Digest that for a moment. $400 billion of a $900 billion program was stolen. It's more than half of our annual defense budget. And again, take a listen to this.
In sending that money out, basically said to people, apply and sign and tell us that you're really entitled to the money. And of course, for fraudsters, that's an invitation. But what didn't happen was even minimal checks to make sure that the money was getting to the right people at the right time.
And why would they? Why would anybody care? Why do you think anybody in government would care at all if your money is wasted? Of the $4 trillion Americans give their government every single year, the actual amount wasted and spent needlessly will never truly be known. But if you did know, it would probably make you sick. A law firm called Arnold & Porter has a tracker for all the fraud that's happened to just their clients. They defend people whose identities were used to steal PPP and other COVID loans. There's 75 pages of cases on just their website. The final case, way on the back page, page 75, you see it highlighted there. Oh, just $24 million stolen from your government by Wailea Williams in the state of Ohio. The Justice Department this week announcing another scam they uncovered, $250 million, 47 people exploiting a child nutrition program during COVID-19. United States sent $1.3 billion of your dollars to small businesses abroad, most of that money handed to thieves that live outside of this country. This week, a Florida man was discovered to have stolen $7.2 million in COVID funds. Houses, cars, travel, all on your dime. Your money that you send to the government that they just piss away. USA Today reporting telehealth fraud, $128 million in just the first year of the pandemic. The stories are endless. They are all over when you Google. The waste is endless, the accountability non-existent. Even as the DOJ and states work to recover stolen money, what are the consequences for the incompetent stooges who set this system up? That's the question. The Washington bureaucrats given the responsibility of handling trillions during COVID, who obviously failed miserably, as they always do. Well, of course, you won't see any accountability, and that's exactly why big government is so dangerous. Why it will eventually destroy this country like it has so many others. Right now, even in the face of record inflation, the leadership of this country is still spending money as fast as it can, dumping almost $400 billion into green energy handouts, the same type of funding that was a disaster under Obama, Solyndra, Fisker. It's happening again. Democrat donors will get millions in free money to dump into companies, many of which will fail because who cares if they do? It was free money. It was just your tax dollars. And there's no consequence for that because government is allowed to be wasteful and incompetent. Government has no competition. All right, Texas Congressman Kevin Brady joins us now to talk more about this. Sir, it's good to have you on tonight. So explain exactly how this happens. I mean, obviously a virus hits, the country shuts down, and then here comes just huge piles of free money, and we end up in a situation like this.
Yeah, this is, Rob, look, fraud has reached epidemic proportions here in Washington under this president. The unemployment fraud alone is considered the greatest theft of American tax dollars in our history. The White House finally, under pressure, admitted that they think about $160 billion, which is an unbelievable number, has been lost to fraud. But outside experts say it can be $400 billion or more. And to put it in perspective, that's more than we spend on the Army and the Navy's budget each year. Right. And I think what's troubling to you, me, and your viewers is Democrats don't seem to care. They have blocked every effort by Republicans to prevent this fraud in the first place. Now they're blocking our efforts to recover it or even get the documents to see exactly where this fraud and theft went, including the documents we requested this week from the Department of Labor, asking to see how much was lost to criminal syndicates like in China and Russia. And it's really troubling. Every Democrat voted to keep those documents secret.
Yeah, it's enraging to see the waste of money, because we follow that so closely, on this show. We talk all the time about how the bigger the government gets, the more you waste. I'd love to know how much of the $4 trillion we send to Washington every year gets wasted in some way or another. I think the number would be staggering. And Congressman, you have a bill designed to go after unemployment fraud, which actually caught my eye because my identity was used in a COVID unemployment scheme, which my accountants are clearing up right now with the IRS. Somebody used my information to get $20,000. Tell us about what you guys are doing.
Yeah, so clearly, even though the president really sort of did a get out of jail free card, told the states don't worry about recovering all this fraud money, Republicans aren't satisfied with that. Certainly us conservatives are not. And so Ways and Means Committee Republican and Senate Finance Committee Republicans has introduced a bill that would direct the states and encourage them to recover the lost money, allows them to keep a portion of it. More importantly, puts in place, those common sense measures to prevent more fraud, which is simple. Just confirm the identity of these people and confirm their wages. That simple action alone would have prevented the bulk of that fraud. And so we are pushing this bill in a big way. Democrats don't seem interested. They've really turned a blind eye to all of this. Yeah. But in the majority, in the House, certainly you're going to see a major push both to pull back the curtain on fraud, prevent it, but more importantly, go after that money. It's taxpayer dollars.
It certainly is. Congressman Brady, thank you so much for taking the time. We appreciate it.